Hello everybody, this is SaberRex coming to you live with another review for the Beasts of the Mesozoic Ceratopsian series action figures by Creative Beast Studio and David Silva. And today we are going to be looking at Diabloceratops eatoni, the 1/18th scale figure for this lineup. So here we are, there it is, and before we take a look at this figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging for it. So here we have the packaging for Diabloceratops. As you can see, there's this beautiful illustration for it done by artist Raul Ramos, one of the many artists who contributed to the Ceratopsian series. As I've said before, there are multiple artists who contributed to this, including R.J. Palmer, Carlo Arolanos, Jax Jackson, whole bunches of them. But yeah, Raul Ramos contributed quite a few different paintings to this line of figures. So his work is just absolutely amazing. Just one of my favorites. Now, in regards to the inside of the box, you can see here's the diorama you can take out and place behind the figure for her display, just so it has a nice background behind it. And on the back, you will see various facts related to Diabloceratops. And if we slide this off, you can see it's actually a little stuck because of the little sticker that it's used to keep in place. But if you take this off, you can see all the various Ceratopsian figures for Wave 1 and here. And yeah, inside the box there is also a little information card that comes with it, like so. It's just basically a smaller copy of the illustration on the front of the box. And on the back, it of course has all these lovely facts. And of course, alongside that, you also have this small set of instructions which come with all the Beasts of the Mesozoic figures. This is very important to listen to and to read, because in order to pop the tail onto the Ceratopsians, the tail is actually separate from the figure when it's packaged. You actually have to heat it up in hot water or warm it with a blow dryer for like half a minute. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of problems getting it onto the dumbbell joint present in the base of the hips right here. Now, unless you want to get frustrated, I highly recommend, I implore you, please read these instructions. They are absolutely essential, and they'll keep you from getting frustrated, hurting your hands, or potentially breaking the figure. So, box aside, let's move on to the figure. So here we have Diabloceratops eatoni, and this is just an amazing figure. The coloration for this was inspired by a lizard from India, if I recall correctly, called the Peninsular Rock Agama, or Agama, however you want to pronounce that. And I always pronounce it as Agama. But yeah, absolutely an incredible figure in regards to the color scheme. I mean, look at these beautiful contrasting yellow and oranges. Yeah, I love how that fades into a slightly darker orange from the yellow on the neck. The bump on the nose right here is a nice shade of yellow, as is the area under the eyes. There's some blue on the frill, along with right under the eye. Very faint, but it's there. It's mostly black, but there is a little bit of blue. Oh, maybe just a little tinge of that in the black. And I love the rusty reddish color. And of course the blue on the underbelly and the yellow. Just absolutely fantastic. A very bright and beautiful Ceratopsian figure. Yeah. Now, articulation-wise, this figure, like all the smaller ceratopsians in the lineup, has 19 different points of articulation. The larger ones have 20, but this one has 19. Yeah, so he can move his neck down like that. He can move his neck up like this, and he has some of the most flexible articulation in the neck of the ceratopsians, alongside a few of the other ones like Chasmosaurus and Pseudoceratops, which I will be covering in later videos. Yeah. His jaw opens about this much. You can get it to go wider, but then it exposes the inside of these cheeks, which I really don't like doing. But yeah, his mouth opens pretty dang wide. It's got one of the widest jaw gapes of all the ceratopsians in the lineup, and yeah, there's just beautiful coloration in the mouth as well. Unlike some of the other larger ceratopsians, it does not have opposable tongue, which is one of the articulation pieces on the larger ones. But it does have that movable jaw, so he can bite, he can graze, he can browse on branches, all that stuff. Now, the ball joint in the neck and the head also allows it to move side to side like this, about that much, so you can get a lot of posing in the neck. Yeah, and that'll make for some incredibly insane and wonderful positions that you can put this guy into. Now, the legs can move a full 360, though I do not recommend it because of the clearance issues that we'll have with the shoulder. That shoulder does stick out quite a bit. So I don't recommend doing a full 360 like I just did. I'm just showing you that for the purpose of articulation. The wrist moves like this on both legs. It can also swivel left and right. The elbow can straighten about that much. It can also bend to almost a 90-degree angle, a little less than that. But the articulation is the same on both legs in the front, and on the back you also have legs that can do pretty much a full 360, though again I don't recommend it because of the hips. They can splay outward a little bit, not much, but a little bit. The knee can bend about that much, and so can the ankle. So you can get the legs out pretty straight, not like 90, not like straight line straight, but you can get them pretty straight. Can bend about this much. Ankle can go about that far forward, so not the furthest forward it can move, but pretty good articulation there. The feet also can move up and down about that much. They can also swivel side to side on both feet, so you get a nice little ankle pivot that allows it to balance pretty well. Yeah, and again, and articulation is the same on both legs. This leg actually is a little stiffer though, just because I haven't moved it around as much as the other one. The tail is also on a dumbbell joint. It can move about this high. It can move up about this much. It can move down about this much. And of course it can move left and right. The torso also has a joint as well, but you're not going to get as much articulation with it as you would with the neck because of these hips right here. They block a lot of that articulation, but you can get a nice left, nice right. You can go up about that much. You can go down about this much. So yeah, he's got a lot of articulation in the downward part of that. So you can have him really look like he's galloping. Yeah, So just a really, really cool figure in that regard. Yeah, just amazing. Now, Diabloceratops, in regards to being one of the more unusual ceratopsians, it's also one of the oldest. It's from about 79 million years ago and comes from the Waweep Formation in Utah. Yeah, which is part of the Grand Staircase Escalante. And yeah, it's one of the oldest, as I said, it's one of the oldest ceratopsians, and it lived alongside one of the oldest tyrannosaurids that is currently known, Lythranax, the king of gore, as it was. This was its main enemy, and yeah, we are definitely going to be getting Lythranax in the Tyrannosaur line for the Beasts of the Mesozoic Tyrannosaurs series once that comes out. So you will be able to pit predator and prey against each other. Basically, have your own little Diabloceratops versus Lythranax battle if you want to, which I'm definitely gonna do. Now, we don't know all that much about the Waweep Formation because there isn't really that much material available to us at the present in regards to species that might showcase what else was living there, but there are duck-billed dinosaurs or hadrosaurs from the formation, and a couple of other animals like unnamed ankylosaurs. So it's pretty likely that at the late Cretaceous fauna in the Waweep Formation was similar to what we have in places like Dinosaur Park and in places like Dinosaur Park, in the Dinosaur Park Formation, and the Kuiperowitz Formation, where you have large assemblages of hadrosaurs and ankylosaurs, small raptors, plus giant tyrannosaurs, and yeah, just a lot. There probably was a lot there. We just don't know what it was as yet. Now, Diabloceratops does have one extremely close relative that is considered its sister taxon in the Centrosaurine group of ceratopsians. The centrosaurs being the short-frilled, long-horned ceratopsians, such as Diabloceratops, of course, Styracosaurus, Pachyrhinosaurus, things like that. There is actually a very similar animal to this called Machairoceratops, which is a little bit older, may have been the ancestor of Diabloceratops. Diabloceratops means demon or devil horned face because of how freakish these horns look. And as you can see, they do look kind of like devil horns. But yeah, these were probably for species recognition more than actually attacking animals, at least in the frill horns. The brow horns here definitely would have been a great weapon against something like a Lythranax or another Tyrannosaur, or small raptors that might have tried to attack a juvenile of this dinosaur. Now, measurement-wise, this figure is roughly about, if I straighten him out, he is approximately 11 inches, or very, very close to 11 inches. It's a little hard to tell at this angle, but very, very close to 11 inches, maybe even 10 3/4. Height-wise, to the top of the horns, he is almost 5.5 inches. So, very nice size figure. Not the largest, but certainly one of the more ornate and beautiful and bizarre ceratopsians in the lineup. Just absolutely incredible. And I cannot recommend this figure enough. If you want something truly unique that's not Triceratops or a Styracosaurus, or you just want something that is going to just say, wow, that's amazing, this is definitely the figure for you. These different ceratopsians, yeah, they're just so bizarre and amazing that, yeah, each one is like, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, but if you don't show much interest in like Triceratops and you want something more strange and unique, this is definitely one of the ones for you. Yeah, price-wise, this guy was about $48 on the pre-order. It is now about $50, and frankly, if you can get it, I absolutely recommend doing so. It's too good a figure to pass up. And yeah, once we get the Tyrannosaur line next year in 2021, yeah, absolutely, I would highly recommend getting them so you can actually pit your ceratopsians against the Tyrannosaurs as well. So, yeah. And before I go, I'd also like to give a little shout out to one of my new subscribers and one of my bigger fans, Dinosaur Game World 761, who likewise does videos on dinosaur figures just like this, although his are a little shorter. But I definitely recommend checking out his page if you can. Yeah, because he shows off these figures just like I do. And this is Saber Rex signing out, saying, you're never too old to play with toys. Don't be afraid to showcase your toy nerdness. Yeah, don't be a toy nerd. Be proud of it. And see you next week. Bye.